squared equals
7.
7. What does this look like? Well, yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah. We'll get into that. We won't. That's not the question, you know. What does the first question ask? It doesn't say make a pretty picture of it. What does it say?
It says find the 2 points where the curve crosses the x-axis as shown with the tangent line to the curve.
Okay, start right there. Hold on a second. So find the points where this thing crosses the x-axis. So we got to take the derivative, right?
No.
No. What does that mean? Where this thing crosses the x-axis? Yeah, like where you cross the x-axis is, you know, it's just when the y is 0. So I want the point, comma 0. So what does that mean? Well, that has to do with just this. We're just looking at this thing. No derivatives yet. Does that make sense, you guys? So what we need to do for the x-intercepts, plug 0 in for y, and then solve for x. That'll make the y equal to 0. Does that make sense? Okay? So if I do that, this becomes x squared plus 0 plus 0 equals 7. So this is just x squared equals 7, and I need to solve this for x. Square root of 7 is absolutely, completely incorrect. Good call. Every time, don't forget, it's not geometry anymore. In geometry, you only want the positive length when you're squaring the side. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And you only keep the positive length. In algebra, there's 2 solutions. Because x squared equals 4, well, it could be negative 2 squared is 4 or 2 squared is 4. Does that make sense? There is the positive and the negative. Does that make sense? To answer the question, x squared equals 4 or x squared equals 7. Here's the 2. Okay, so we have 2 points. We have the point root 7, 0, and the point negative root 7, 0. So that's what it asked first. Then what did it ask? Show that the tangents at these points are parallel. So what is it asking? What does that question mean? Yeah, take the derivative. What would taking the derivative do? How do you find the slope of the tangent line with the derivative? Plug in that specific point, and it'll give you the slope of the tangent line value. But how do I know they're parallel? If the 2 values of the slope are equal for those 2 points. Does that make sense, you guys? So there's a lot in this one. There's like algebra 1, like lines and stuff. Parallel lines, same slope. Same slope. But first take the derivative. The derivative equation allows you to solve for the slope of the tangent line at any point. With those 2 slope values, you can compare them to see if they're parallel. If they're the same, those 2 tangent lines would be parallel. Does that make sense, Wayman? Think about what the question's asking. Okay, so I need to do some calculus here. I need to take the derivative. How do I take the derivative of this? Do it for me. 2x plus, what's this? Product rule. Derivative of x first, which is 1. Derivative in terms of x, which is, so y, plus x times the derivative of y, which is y prime, plus derivative of this. Uh-oh. Who's there? Who's home? I don't know yet. I got to bring down the 2. Y raised to the 1 times the derivative of what's inside. Equals, common mistake here, equals what?
0.
We just dx both sides. This is dx both sides of this equation. Don't forget to dx that side. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? So in this case, I'm actually going to solve for y prime. Why this time and not the other? I don't know. Maybe just switch it up a little bit, keep us on our toes. But since I have to plug in twice, I might as well just solve for y prime and then just dump it in twice. Do you know what I'm saying? But you choose. Both are valid ways to do it. Does that make sense, Eve? Okay? So solving for y prime, this has a y prime, and this has a y prime. I'm going to keep them both here. That means you and you, get out of here, you! What are you still doing here? I told you to go! xy prime plus 2y y prime. Negative 2x minus y. What's your next step? Factor out a y prime and divide. Okay, so I'm going to do all that in one fell swoop. Minus 2x minus y over x plus 2y. Okay? There's your derivative equation. This derivative equation can give you the slope of the tangent line by plugging in any specific point. And see, in this case, you need the x and the y. Do you see that, you guys? So if I plug in root 7, 0, I would get y prime equals negative 2 times root 7 minus 0 over root 7 plus 0, or just this, which is, be careful, negative 2. If I plug in this point into my derivative equation, I get negative 2 times negative root 7 is positive 2 root 7 minus 0 over negative root 7 plus 2 times 0, leaving you with this. Root 7's cancel out, leaving you with 2 divided by negative 1 is the same. What did we just solve for? Slopes of the what? Of the tangent lines. What does this prove? Yes, since the slopes of the tangent lines are the same, the tangent lines are parallel to each other. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, good. Alright, let's do some more problems. I'm going to give you 2 worksheets each. Why I want you to take the derivative first and then check before you do all the algebras, you're going to go 7 lines in before you make a mistake like this, and the whole problem is wrong. So you do this, right, as a first step to get cooking on a problem? Thank you. I saw some going both ways. That's not true. I'll show you a counterexample. This is not true. This is true. Here's a counterexample, or I guess examples for both. One for this one would be square root of 9 times 9 is what? 9. You can multiply these together first. This is 81. The square root of 81 is 9. So this is equal to this. If you did the square root of 9 plus 9, well, if you broke it up, that would be the square root of 9 plus the square root of 9, which is 3 plus 3 is 6, right? That's not true. Square root of 9 plus 9 is 18. What canary can you free from here? 9. This equals the square root of 9 times 2, which equals 3 radical 2, which is not 6. Does that make sense, you guys? Again, just like when you cancel out when you're dividing, as soon as there's a plus, and all those games are gone, there's nothing you can do. All the canceling and all that stuff, when you're dividing, if there's one plus sign in there, it's off. Same thing with under a square root. This, you can't simplify. Nothing happens here. You're done. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, things to keep in mind. They came up in the earlier period. So let's try these together. So what I'm saying is do the calculus first. Do the line of calculus. Check it in with the group. And then solve for y prime together. Okay? And you have the answer.